Okay, what we're going to cover today is we're going to cover the Ipart feature of Inventor. And your assignment 10, is to take the Ipart feature. You're going to model a part and then modify features on that part in the Ipart mode. So let's take this basic plate here, and it's got a fillet on it, it's got a chamfer on it, and it's got a countersunk hole in it, and it has a height or width, height, and thickness of this plate. So this is a basic part with multiple features, and what we can do is go over here to the Manage tab, and as long as we have a part in, the Ipart selection comes up. And the whole idea of the Ipart is to create a family of parts that are all similar but have some different dimensions, different features on them, but they're all basically the same part. As you can see from the parts up above, they all are very similar, but they're not exact. In the class, I think I gave an example in most of my classes that I attended a workshop for what was then Pro Engineer, but is now Creo. And when people that were in there found out that you had this thing which is called a family table in the other software, but it's called Ipart here, they were ecstatic because they made oil filters for engines. And oil filters are basically the same throughout, except they vary in size and with a few different features on them. And I'm going to show you here how you can add features, subtract features using the Ipart. So you don't have to draw multiple parts and store them in a library under multiple file names. You've got one file name that has multiple features. So we're going to go up here to Ipart, and what you will notice is the first thing that comes up is the parameters, just as you created it. So first thing you had was an extrusion that was 1/4 of an inch thick, and it's a 3x4 plate. And so we're going to take this extrusion and we're going to move it over here. That puts all those features active on this side. And if you notice down here, D0, D1, D2, and D3, which is the width of the plate, the thickness of the plate, and I'm going to remove D1 because I don't think we're going to be using that. So that leaves us the width, the length, and the thickness of the plate. And you notice that I named my part Plate Ipart, and it gives you a member feature, which is the file name, which matches up here. But then you can put a part name in here instead. You can change this to let's change it to and I'm going to change it to 250, which is the decimal equivalent of 1/4 of an inch. So now our plate, now our feature has a part number, 3x4 by 250. So when you go in, actually I'm going to change it again. I'm going to make it PL. So now it's PL. So if you look at it, you should know that that's a plate that's 3x4 by 1/4 of an inch. So I want to make several plates different sizes. Now notice the hole, the chamfer, and the fillet are not on here because they're not listed, they're not active. But if I want another one, I can insert a row, and I can say this is PL, and row. And 3.5 by 4 by 3/8. So what I'm going to do over here is I'm going to change this 0.38. 4 is going to be the same, but this is going to be 3.5. And I'm going to say OK. Now if you notice up here, you have a table that appeared. And part 1 is active. That's the original part. But if I double click on this part, it changes to the new part, adds the fillet and the chamfer and the hole to that plate. But now, if I go to inspect and I measure this, it's 3.5, as I specified in the Ipart. And I can go back to my original one just by double clicking on it. And if I go to this table and I go to edit the table, I can add chamfer, and I can add the fillet, and I can add the hole. Now all of them are active, and if I want to, I can add another feature, and I can say PL dash 3.5 by 4 by 0.38. And if I D4, this is 125. Let's change this. D4 is my chamfer. I want to change my chamfer to 0.2. And I'm going to make this 0. I don't want the hole in my other plate, so I'm going to leave it off. I'm going to say OK. Now what you're going to find is you can go to plate 2. It's the same as it was. Plate 3 has no fillet. It has chamfer and no hole. And if I go to my table and edit the table, the chamfer was D4 and the fillet was D7. I made that 0, that's why it went away, and I really wanted it at 0.3. And I say OK. It still didn't like it. Let's go back to the table. It didn't like the chamfer. D4 is there, 0.2. D7. The fillet. I'm going to say OK. And we're going to go back to here. Now we've got our fillet and our chamfer, because I had messed up there. And now we got a hole. So without drawing this part multiple times, we have a way of creating multiple parts within the same family with slightly different features. Now, your problem for Inventor assignment 10 is you are given this flange. I've given you all the dimensions and everything for this flange, and given you all the dimensions in a drawing. The other thing I've included in the instruction is how to create a general table here, which we will briefly touch on here, but I've got a video from YouTube on how to create a general table up here under general table, and